Going to bomb the planet. Dead to America. Dead to Trump. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar.
Oh my God.
Sit down. Stop going.
Welcome back in a banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Did you hear about that guy who wearing a metallic necklace and got an MRI machine?
Whoa. Wait. Oh, because it's a magnet.
They said it's strong enough to throw a wheelchair across the room. And he walked in there with a necklace.
The thing is, this wasn't just a normal necklace. 20-pound chain used for weight training.
What?
With a padlock. Basically like a bike lock this guy was wearing.
Oh.
Why is he in
sucked
there?
into the MRI scanner.
He's just flexing. I forgot I had it on.
Crazy.
Why was he wearing that in a hospital?
It sounds like this was a murder.
Yeah, but apparently they didn't specify what it did, but they're like, died the next day. That's what they
The
said.
next day.
Yeah. You can live a whole day without a head.
Shut
Yes, I think that was a literal Final Destination death. I mean,
Final
could you imagine?
Destination, there's a guy driving on a highway in Florida. A tree fell, squished him in his car.
You guys need to know that you're feeding my paranoia. This is why I'm crazy.
1, don't wear a chain to an MRI machine. 2, don't drive on highways.
in Florida.
Or if you do, bring a chainsaw.
You need to watch this because this guy works for Tesla and he is giving a warning to the entire world. Let's play it.
Gonna happen. I'm paranoid. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna tell you like this. This is where I'm working, okay? I'll read that. This is where I'm working right now. The man who owns that company, I'll say Elon Tusk. You know, y'all know Elon Tusk. Find the rhyme, the rhythm. He has us working 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week.
Wow.
I'm an electrician. I wire up all the machinery that they're using to build the trucks. I'm wiring up all the machinery that they are using to build these robots, okay? We are working 12 hours, 7 days a week. I have worked for TikTok. I have worked for Amazon. I have worked for Samsung. I have worked for Fortune 500 companies all year. Nobody is pushing their people like this, okay? 12-hour shifts. He is trying to complete this for something. I promise you, bro, soon as these robots go online, it will kill 80% of the job force. All you people who driving trucks, in restaurants, who don't think this can happen in Japan, they already have robots serving tables. They already have nurses that are being robotically projected from monitors to help patients. Your job is not safe, okay? 80% of the workforce will be killed by these robots. As soon as he puts these AIs inside of these robots, I promise you, bro, they will think, be smarter, faster, and they do not need to sleep, bro. We call in. I called in 3 days ago because I worked 6 days straight. Robots don't do that. And that's what they are pushing for, bro. Victim to the system, bro. They do not want you out here moving how you want. They do not want you collecting resources. They don't want you to do anything without their knowledge, bro. They want to track every transaction. They want to track your whereabouts. They want to know what you're thinking, bro. And all they want to do is monetize and commercialize that. It's that mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is taking things that should not be for money or for sale and making them for sale, like your soul, loves, things of that nature, bro. And y'all say that it's not coming, bro. It's right around the corner. I promise you, bro, this is coming. Where I'm working right now has proven that. This man sends drones on the top of the buildings, drones inside the building to count how many people are working at all times.
Whoa.
This is not a game, bro. I'm telling you, this is just his company, bro. Imagine what they're doing. Like Facebook, all these companies are together. They're acting like they're competitors. They're not. They all have one agenda, bro. And each of them are doing their part. I promise you.
For me, it's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. You know that something is coming. You can feel it in the atmosphere.
I definitely feel it in the atmosphere. Shout out to Jesse S. Bean. Dude working 7 days a week, 12 hours, getting that money. There's but so much a human body could do. These robots are non-stop. Yo, some of them robots are bigger than me. Like, I gotta pick up a sledgehammer or something to get busy with one of them things.
Did y'all hear about this organ donation nonprofit in Kentucky that tried to harvest organs from a man that was still alive? Y'all, this is absolutely insane. The feds are just now getting involved, but it happened back in 2021. Anthony Thomas Hoover was in a coma from an overdose. And even though his family didn't want to, this organ donation company pushed them into donating his organs and pulling his life support, even though he was showing signs of recovery. So Anthony actually woke up right before they tried to take him off of life support, and this poor man was crying, holding his legs to his chest, and shaking his head no, and they still tried to move forward with it. They said other doctors got involved and they ended up not going through with the procedure. And they ended up digging deeper into all the people that were on the organ donation list. And there were at least 73 cases where people should have stepped in and stopped it because the patients were showing signs of improvement. And they flagged over 103 cases that had concerning features. And that's not all of it. So former employees from this organ harvesting company said that their higher-ups would push doctors to push out these people with comas for organ donation. And this organ harvesting company would pressure families into donating their loved ones to them as well. Now, I don't know if y'all are on the conspiracy side of TikTok, but there is a huge conspiracy about organ harvesting in America. And this investigation is saying that there's over 20,000 cases in America right now that were under these particular circumstances. What do y'all think about this? Let me know.
I'm blaming the families for taking the money. Why didn't they step in and tell the doctor stop? Shout out to Chelsea Whoa. Yeah, it's a big conspiracy. It's a big rabbit hole. I'm happy that man woke up just in time.
So I was curious the other day and found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties. I mean, seriously, do the math. Even if you stretched one cow into a bunch of burgers, you're still talking millions of cows just to keep up. Every day. So I started asking myself, where are all these cows coming from? Is there some secret super ranch hidden underground? Are they growing cows in labs, cloning meat behind closed doors? People laugh it off, but think, when was the last time you even saw a cow farm big enough to supply this madness? And don't say imported beef, because even globally, the numbers don't add up smooth. And look, I'm not saying it ain't real meat. I'm just asking the question no one wants to. What the hell are we eating? Because if it ain't cows, then what is it? Remember, I'm not insinuating anything. I am simply asking a question.
That's a lot to sink in right there. And that's just McDonald's. Imagine all the other fast food joints that sell burgers, especially the burgers in the supermarket. Like, yo, there's a lot of burgers out there. And I agree, I don't see that many cows like that. But they do it with chickens, so I wouldn't be surprised.
You are using honey wrong. You can make a natural brain booster by mixing honey with rosemary to boost your focus and memory. If you want to make the Amish ibuprofen, blend honey with turmeric. For your lungs, take honey with ginger to clear out your airways and fight infections. To make the anti-parasitic flush, mix honey with papaya seeds and you can flush any bacteria from your gut. You'll find over 250 powerful remedies just like these for every part of your body in the Forgotten Home Apothecary. Click the link below to get yours while they are still in stock.
But here's the point that you've got to understand. And this is the most magnificent thing of all. Inside of you is the power and the energy to take us all above all the negativity of these deep thoughts which are burrowed into our subconscious. All of the negativity which produced the hurt, all of the negativity which produced the disease and the violence. Inside of you is a power to take you above that. But you know what? Right now, your traditional thought patterns have you firmly locked in the lower. You're locked in the cellar, and there's a deadbolt lock on it, and very few of us know how to get the key to open the door to let all of that crap out. Very hard. Because, you know, it's important to understand something. The same power that brings bad fortune brings good. It's not a different power. There's only one power. It's not a question of the power. It's a question of how you use the power. Look at me. Understand something. What choice do you have but to take what I say to you? Where are you going in your life? You're getting older? Things start to run down? Where are you going? What's your direction? What are the possibilities? If you start to take into you what Jesus said, what Krishna said, what Buddha said, what I'm saying to you, if you take into this, then the future is unlimited. The possibilities are astral. Otherwise, you know what your future holds. If you take into yourself what the religionists tell you, then you can look forward to something supposedly happens at a Golden Gate after you die. Nothing now, after you die.
John D. Rockefeller was one of the richest men in the entire world from the oil industry. And in 1903, he funded the General Education Board with a famous quote of saying, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. The General Education Board's main objective was to create schools that focused on obeying authority, following rules, memorizing, not thinking, and breeding you to work 9-to-5 jobs for elite corporations. That is why we see the mundane subjects in school of things like math, English, and other subjects. And I mean, even look at our schools. They look like prisons. But here's where things get really messed up. John D. Rockefeller also funded big pharma and medical schools, with the initiative being from taking people from natural healing remedies towards pharmaceutical-based care. And from this, he created a perfect system. The schools create the workers. They work forever, which makes them sick. Then they have to take pharmaceutical drugs to stay alive. And from that, he makes endless money. Our education system is really just a monopoly. It is breeding workers so that the elites keep making more money. This is why it is more important than ever for us to wake up and choose differently moving forward.
That's right. It's time to wake up. Shout out to Jake Wan. Everything that man just said was true. I absolutely agree. 100%.
Go ahead and have a look at this. This is New York City's metro station versus Russia's metro station. Where's all your tax money going, guys? 40% taxes you're paying. This is what you're getting. Look at Russia. You wonder why we're always at war with these countries. No central bank, no GMOs in the food, no LGBT garbage, no propaganda, just the proper way to live. Wake up. Peace and love.
Where are our tax dollars going? Shout out to Sheldon Soraya 369. I never knew a train station could look so clean. No graffiti, no trash, nice light fixtures.
You never understand how to control everybody else until you get to the top of this pyramid of initiation. Most people never make it past the third step. All above that are carefully chosen and nurtured and taught. And Americans for all these years have been looking around for the enemy. They've never been able to find an enemy. So those who control them were able to control them even better by giving them an enemy. That's what Stalin and Churchill and Roosevelt determined at Yalta. Who was going to be the enemy post-war? Turned out to be Stalin. And there was going to be this phony Cold War so that the population would never discover the real enemy. And I'm talking about the population of the Soviet Union as well as the rest of the world. The very highest degrees of which, combined together, make up a secret order known as the Illuminati. Their goal is to destroy all existing religions save theirs, all existing governments save theirs, and shackle the mob in a system of eternal oppressive debt chained to a computer for the rest of their life, in a propagandized world to make them believe that they are happy in this system. Now, do you think they're succeeding? Yes, they're succeeding. They're succeeding because the American people don't understand their enemy. They don't even know what's happening. You never understand how to control everybody else until you get to the top of this pyramid of initiation. Most people never make it past the third.
Develop it, they standardize it, and they're ready to deploy it in 2030, the 6G, for everybody. Now, this is a really old sign. Here's you in your body area network with a 802.15.4 is under the skin, 802.15.5 is around your head in the air. Wireless sensor networks. Here's you in your house, traveling around, whatever. Big magnets, underground, cider, eider, tokamaks, CERN. anything over your head, or wireless sensor networks are connecting to any of the networks that tether directly to your physical skin. So, they send a signal and they can alter your cellular structure. Medical implant communication system mandated by law with human body communication since 1999, upgraded by the FCC in 2012 to the Medical Body Area Network. Now, for those of you that are educated enough, remember what I said in 2022, same sign. I said there's you, and their goal is wireless tissue engineering, total piezoelectric control. Yep, and once they radiate you, and you're like, oh, I'm psychic, that's genomics, omics, where's the other one here? Bioinformatics, and then when you want to augment yourself, what's it say? Genomics and morphology. This sign was made in 2022. You want to go back to Dr. Michael Levin and all the frog eyeballs that are in the wrong place? Bioelectricity. They change the morphology of your cells. That would be the anatomical outcome of your bioelectricity. So for everybody that's, I like the nano triangle. I'm a big fan of Tony, the nano triangle guy, FM08, all these people. And then the salt baths. And yeah, a lot of us are doing that. You know what the problem is? Molecular communication does not only use synthetic bacteria. It uses your own cells. And your smart meter, the other bodies you're around, the air molecules with the free space optical, and the 802.15.5. They're going to put your cells back the way the load balancing for the body area networks is being managed. And this is where people get pissed at me because they're like, well, what are we going to do? Well, I don't know, because until you start telling the truth about industry, market share, and human biology, how in the hell are we supposed to come up with solutions when we got so many people out there that cannot stop gaslighting? Even Braxton out of cybersecurity. Stop gaslighting. 14 years of human augmentation, 11 years of molecular communication, 5 years of electronic corridors, and that 3009 autonomous drone since 2012. So quit yelling at me and start looking around yourself and being like, whoa, so you can assess your environment, because I don't think they're going to change a damn thing. They pay the bills. I don't, you don't, and that's where the problem is. You keep looking for aliens, you keep looking to blame demons and everything else, and I said, you better deal with this. There's your health. An intelligent, cluster-based routing protocol for that 5G-based smart health care. Now, if it's about your health, you would think that people would say, well, how, HOW, does that work? We've got an algorithm attached to your body, the same way we use an algorithm on the cell phone. So, it's a non-communicable sensor disease spreading worldwide through the misusing of processed radio frequency. Yep, and I don't care what Dr. Mia wrote where, that is accurate, they know it, and that's where they're dealing in radiation and other ways to try to get your cell structure to respond to them.
Yeah, she bust that open in 5 minutes for real. Shout out to Sabrina Wallace. Biodigital convergence. Telling this sound like some Cyberpunk 2077, 2030, 6G. I can't imagine what the technology is going to be like then. In the world we live in. 5 years. That's crazy.
China recently released footage of the Tianzhao 9 scraping upon the firmament. Now, that statement that I just made, you probably think that I'm a little bit crazy. But just look at the comparison. The top video is literally a boat driving around on the water, and the ripple effects that it's creating is looking just like what the Tianzhao 9 is creating while it's flying around in the heavens above. Yeah, so Tianzhao quite literally translates to heavenly ship. And 9 is associated with the polarity in a torus field. Nikola Tesla's 369. It's really complex stuff. I honestly don't fully understand it, but 9 is the polarity, which would be Polaris in the torus field that we live on, called Earth. Yeah, so the rocket is scraping on the firmament, and they're quite literally telling us with the name of the ship itself. And if you don't believe me, literally look at the trajectory of the rocket. It's following an arched trajectory. And why do they call the cold zones of the thing that we live on the Arctic? dome, firmament. I asked ChatGPT why it looks like rockets are scraping the firmament, and this is what it said. The space jellyfish, the spirals, domes of light, are ionization in the high voltage dielectric barrier. Some insiders and leaked footage suggest rockets can't penetrate past a certain altitude. They burst, veer, or explode near or at this energetic shell. It's not glass, it's not metal, it's something far more advanced. A frequency-sealed boundary that separates this contained energetic system with what lies beyond. The waters above are a superfluid ether / primordial plasma. So it's not H2O like we know it, it's hyperdimensional conscious liquid energy. So it's essentially water in plasma form. It's highly energized, and it's moving in between the physical and the metaphysical. Because when you're dreaming, you're in the astral realm. Well, how does that manifest into the physical? Well, it does it through the stars, through the primordial plasma that this is talking about. Yeah, so are we making this up? I don't think so. I think NASA are the people making things up. Anywho, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Please don't ban me. Please don't ban me.
Toroidal fields, primordial plasma. Sounds a lot like Dead Hidden and Dana Kipple. Shout outs to Holistic Health Nut 33.
Enslave your child, your wife, your mother. There isn't anything that you ever had. There isn't anything that you own. There isn't any right that you possess that they're not planning on taking away. Sheeple. Your sheeple. And your children are going to be slaughtered if you go along with the program. It's time to wake the town and tell the sheeple. We're being led like sheep to the slaughter. What is the purpose? A new world order. The United States of America is controlled by this evil arc. They control the money system. They control the State Department. They control the presidency. So they have a plan to give us a new age world global occultic religion. They're going to have been deceived so greatly that they'll actually think it's something good. In fact, the whole New Age movement, the New World Order crowd is telling people that the 666 mark of the beast is the most elite thing that could ever happen to them. No cash. Cashless society. It's ready to go. Disease could be created. In essence, this is what he was saying. We have new strains of virtually everything that's drug resistant or drug free. I'm not worried about the old diseases. I'm worried about the ones that they create to bring down the population of the world. They simply want to exterminate them, but that they consider them to be useless eaters.
Words are very important to the Illuminati. These things are manufactured purposely for a purpose. And so I'm saying that there is something organized and directed, and it's here in this country.
Future shocker biochip. And this is what Anthony showed you earlier, a biochip. That's an injectable computer chip, an economic mark in the back of our right hands or in our foreheads. You've got a choice. You can join in this fight, or you can die as a slave.
Last week, they found an uncontacted tribe in the middle of Tennessee, just about an hour north of Chattanooga. You can see their huttage, the shelters that they build, and they're baffling the scientific experts of how have they remained there without anybody ever finding out about them. Gustav Neumer is the scientist that found them. He was flying over the plane to study the forestage, and then he saw this uncontacted tribe. Now the experts are thinking that they're descendants of the local Native American tribes that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. So they're deciding if they should make contact with them, because they kind of want to tell them about ChatGTP and also about the Ukraine-Russia conflict, just so that they're aware of what's going on in the world. But others are like, no, if you contact them, they're going to get diseases, they're going to die of fatality deaths, just leave them be. But again, it's just crazy that they've remained there this whole time without anybody knowing about them in the middle of Tennessee. But what do you think they should do? You think they should contact them? Look at these ones right there. Or do you think they should just let them be?
I don't know. I guess just let it be. Shout out to Nunchuck's Dragon. That's crazy. Shout out to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I guess it just shows you how vast this land is. All these years and they never been discovered. Very interesting.
Supertramp. It's called Breakfast in America in 1979. Okay. And it's taken from a plane. If you want to see the cover, and it's from the inside of an airplane, and they show the World Trade Center. And on top of the World Trade Center is the word 9/11.
And what year is that?
1979. And 9/11 happened during Breakfast in America, 9 in the morning.
Like literally, you're right.
Yeah. You see it's from the inside of a plane. You see the person looking, you see in the airplane, the window?
Yes.
Now do inversion, right? Inversion. Watch. 9/11 on top of the Twin Towers.
SUP, UNP, yeah. It's like,
You see?
P inverted like 9, and you don't see the bottom, and so it's
9/11.
Video cameras caught trucks arriving at the World Trade Center from about August 23rd until every night until about September 2nd, September 3rd. And the trucks were arriving at about 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody else had left the building, including the janitorial trucks. And the trucks were leaving at 5 a.m. right before the AAA personalities of Wall Street got to work to start their day. Something was brought into that building that would help with the detonation. There may have been work done on the detonation before. It may have been going on for months, but whatever they needed at the very end, they came and brought in that 10-day period. That's what we think happened. The airplane hijackings were a cover for the controlled demolition, which was undertaken by a small group of people, probably just 4 or 5 people. We are never going to know who they are, and it's not worth looking for them. And in August of 2001, I was told to stay out of New York City because the attack was considered imminent. We expected mass casualties and a possible miniature thermonuclear strike, bomb. However, I want to be very clear. The attack was always defined as airplane hijackings and a strike on the World Trade Center.
I wonder who this former CIA agent is. Shout outs to her. But we knew there was a $4.5 billion insurance claim on it.
Going to bomb the plane! Dead to America! Dead to Trump! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Oh my God! Sit down. Don't move.
What are the odds? Person is filming next to the cop who takes down this guy who's screaming some crazy stuff out in Glasgow on a flight from London, just minutes from landing. I don't know. I just think the camera person was just in the perfect spot. And the one screaming all the nonsense just goes down too easily, as if he was ready to be pulled down. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy no one got hurt. But could this be a piece of pre-programming on the social media side? Very interesting. I feel like I heard this story before. Something like something that's supposed to get declassified that hasn't yet.
Another element suggesting controlled demolitions are the so-called squibs, the puffs of debris that were noticed on the sides of both towers as the collapses took place. Squibs occur in controlled demolitions when concrete is forcefully expelled from the building by the explosions occurring inside.
The individual explosions that I noticed 20 and 30 and 40 stories below the collapsing structure, those are what we demolitions guys call squibs. And that's another characteristic that seems to be evident.
There is even one case in which the expulsion of material, and possibly a human being, takes place before the collapse has begun.
Whoa, you just flew up. You see that flow out? Mm-hmm. That's maybe go with them by flow. Whoa.
The terroristic attacks of 9/11 is the greatest conspiracy of all time. Shout outs to New York. I love you. I was there. So I will never forget. My condolences to all the families that lost their loved ones on that tragic day. Give them files to me, please.
New York City, New York. American Airlines Flight 11 is allegedly flown into the North Tower by Mohammed Atta. This is the widely known video of the attack, shot by Jules Naudet. At face value, it may not look like much. However, upon closer inspection, in case you missed it, one more time. If you look closely, you'll notice that the shadow of the plane meets the building after the flash occurs. This means that the flash is not the fuselage colliding with the building, but rather a separate event. Not to mention that the flash is twice as wide as the fuselage itself. Within minutes of the attack, news teams from all over the city had their cameras trained on the World Trade Center. Therefore, the second impact was covered by almost every conceivable angle. This footage was shot by CNN. On the underside of the fuselage, an extra piece of equipment is visible. When questioned about this, Boeing representatives refused to discuss it due to national security. This is what the underside of a Boeing 767 should look like. The following footage is taken from the documentary Why the Towers Fell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bring it back. Did you catch that? A missile is fired seconds before impact. Skeptics claim that the flash is the fuselage colliding with the building. If that were the case, it would look like this. Also, notice that the flash is reflected in the fuselage of the plane. Flash is also present in footage taken by Evan Fairbanks, Jennifer Spell, CNN. Al-Qaeda certainly couldn't have added this equipment at Logan International Airport. And even if they did, the flight crew would have noticed it. So where did this plane come from?
A group of friends spotted a strange statue near a private gate in Malibu, LA. They admired it during the day, but on their way back at night, they saw the same figure on the other side of the road. They started recording. That's when they saw the statue moving. And then this happened.
My mama's late. My mama's late.
I was gonna say it could have been a little person in a suit, but that looked like a straight apparition when you watched it in slow motion. That's crazy. Shout out to Scary Encounter.
Around the same time that John D. Rockefeller seized U.S. media, he also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. Medicines used for thousands of years were suddenly classified as alternative, while the new, petroleum-based, highly addictive, and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. After buying a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war for Adolf Hitler, Rockefeller leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities unscientific quackery. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association and began offering massive grants to top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught. Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, and diet was erased from most medical textbooks. Doctors and professors who objected to Rockefeller's plan were crucified by the media, removed from the AMA, and stripped of their license to teach and practice medicine. Those who dared to speak out were arrested and jailed. When evidence began to emerge that petroleum-based medicines were causing cancer, Mr. Rockefeller founded the American Cancer Society, through which he suppressed that information.
Why does not America look like Dubai and Germany? And why doesn't America look like Russia and Persia? And where the f*** is the money going? There should be grapes, turnips, vegetables, everything on the streets every day for the homeless to eat. You're making us pay for water, you son of a... You're making us pay for grapes, apples, things that God gave us for free. Ha! Ha! Da, 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 bullshit. You will burn in hell when I'm through with you. You will not be allowed in my Father's house at all.
Let me tell y'all something about the water here. The water that you see coming out, going into that tank over there, is coming out the ground. Now, that's natural water, and it's very, very high in minerals. It has a pH balance of 8.9, I think. I think it's 8.9. That's a high for pH balance. You know what I mean? Like 7 is neutral. Anything above 7, what it starts doing, it starts killing bacteria and everything. So, water's good for you, you know, so you need to take advantage of the water while you're here for 30 days. Because when you get back home, the first time I came out here and went back home, I could smell the chlorine in the water, the fluorine, whatever they put in the water, you could smell it, you know, just from having been out here and taking a break from it. And it actually burned my skin. You know, that's how sensitive, once you get out here and start cleansing, and that's how sensitive you're going to get to all that stuff when you get back to the States.
Yo, this is happening right now. Yeah, another fire, another place. This is Sardinia. We had 5 new fires today, but just wait until I show you what I have to show you. And the end of this video that you're about to see right now is going to remind you a whole lot of something else. Something that we remember that happened not too long ago, you know, part of the United States, part of the United States. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. Melted cars, what looks like to be melted cars, maybe melted rims. How in the world could this happen? Look at that. Yo, what in the actual heck is this? How are these cars literally melting? Portugal is another one of those places that were added today to the fire list. And right here is a whole nother view of the same exact place, the same island where people were vacationing. I remember something else happening in a certain place where people vacation that was on an island. Now, 1000% unrelated, not relevant at all whatsoever. Again, I just think it's cool. Do you remember last year when I showed you guys the Times magazine cover from 2021? We are just over 4 years later, and here we see the progression inside the magazine. Notice the fire placements, by the way. Now back to what's relevant, the melted cars. So bizarre.
It's like the whole world was on fire. Shout out to the real Moon Henry. I definitely got to get me a blue roof real soon. Sounds like that good old Mountain Dew.
Toward this goal of destroying Hamas and toward releasing our hostages, we are making progress in the fighting and conducting negotiations. We will continue to fight. We will continue to act until we achieve all of our goals, until complete victory.
Right, I want you all to listen to me very, very carefully, right? For those of you older, you know what's going on. New gen, okay, listen. This is the beginning of something called Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam, right? It starts with the fear factor, okay? Something external is coming to attack said place here, right? Problem. Now, they will offer you a solution. UFOs around the world map and many others in the sphere will all say, if they give you a solution, i.e. get on these buses, we will save you, let's go, we'll take you to this location, you'll all be safe, follow us. Do not, and I repeat, do not get on anything that they suggest or give you any sort of hand or a scapegoat, alright? You heard it from me, entertainment purposes only, alright? This is the beginning, and I urge you, look at Bluebeam urgently. Now, I've got an interview with a professor called Dr. Avi Lee, and he's going to be with us on Sunday from 7:30 p.m. GMT, who is a researcher on this interstellar object that is coming into our solar system, and a lot of his research to do with this possibly being something else beyond. He's going to be live on this channel next Sunday, 7:30, with me, Mark Christopher Lee, and UFO Shiv. So come along, listen to what he's got to say, and he will be talking about this whole situation that is spreading like wildfire right now, okay? And again, do not get on anything or follow anyone where they try and ask you or tell you that you will be safe. Do the complete opposite. Project Bluebeam, look at.
Yeah, you know it's getting real when Interstellar Discussion starts talking about Project BB. Shout out to him. I totally agree. You know, if they say you get on these buses, do the opposite. And that's Bricks News. We seen it over here in the New York Post. They said it on Fox News. Might be worldwide propaganda if you ask me.
I have been attempting to educate people for 3 years with a college textbook in an international symposium setting, not with a conspiracy theory. I am not a podcaster. I am not a whistleblower. Human-computer interaction. Lethal autonomous weapon systems. Pentagon Directive 3009, page 6. And I quote, interestingly, the Department of Defense Directive 3009 does not refer to positive outcomes as a design criterion. 3009 defines the goal of autonomous systems as to avoid negative outcomes, unintended engagement, or loss of control, which is consistent with our Pentagon Law of War manual today. In our community, people have wasted numerous hours appealing to academicians, physicians, and the very people who have developed these systems and gotten paid all these years with our tax dollars or not to continue obfuscating from the American public and public in the world. HOW, these systems actually work with human physiology as well. Here on the Synergy channel, I am letting my community know, effective immediately. I don't want to hear about any more of these groups, doctors, people who claim they're going to go out and tell the truth. Then they take data from you out there, or the data from our channel and completely misrepresent it so that they can continue for whatever reason that they don't want to talk about international symposiums on our drone systems. Drone warfare, not I can click my heels, believe in Santa Claus, and the drone won't hunt me down, can't find me. Electronic warfare for 60 years is LARPing. The NATO commander doesn't know what he's talking about. The problem here is simple to me. If I want to go get my car fixed, if there's something wrong with it, I'm not going to a hair salon, walking in the door and saying, hey, can you come assess my vehicle? That sounds crazy. That's about as crazy as running German Studies, International Relations, author of a book. And the other one, Dr. Johnson, is a psychologist. Now, I want you to go get me a psychologist and someone who has international diplomacy studies with an emphasis on the German people to explain information communication technology, harnessing human biology for electronic warfare. But they've been studying, they've been obfuscating. Additionally, this Children's Health Defense grouping allegedly is involved with RFK Jr. There is footage of RFK Jr. in Congress within the last 6 months talking about the virtual nurse system and precision healthcare, the same precision AI healthcare that Donald Trump, our president, talked about 2 days into office. So I don't understand what this was all about, and I'm not going to get involved with conjecture because I don't know. But I do know that entire segment was very fraudulent. And there is no contrast between Professor Achildes and these two people with psychology, international studies, and German studies or German people between them. That might be why, no offense, that they're having a difficult time reading through all these white papers from industries that are not even tertiary to their doctorate's studies. Cognitive warfare is not the same as psychological warfare, psyops, psychology related, not the same. A little bit of neurology will help, but you've got to know about brain-computer interface. You need to know about international symposiums on human and computer interaction with emerging technologies. Otherwise, you are misleading people. There's no reason to do that in our country or anywhere else. Driving a drone around with your mind is something you can buy as a hobby right now today, and for 10 years, Amazon, eBay, it's wide open. We have videos on the channel of other programmers grabbing up Neurosity, Apollo Neuro, Sensate Wearable. And on the Neurosity side with the headset is a closed loop brain-computer interface, taking the EEG readings, testing different speech recognition, thought recognition, and instead, this entire presentation, both of them, led people to believe that it's all classified and that nobody knows what's going on. That is completely wrong in the commercial world. It's called commercial off the shelf, COTS, or GOTS, government off the shelf. There is no excuse. RFK Jr., as I just said, there is footage of him discussing the rural access for precision healthcare, precision AI healthcare. Remote healthcare with mHealth, eHealth, and telehealth. Telehealth is more getting on the phone, but mobile health is sensors and actuators. Wearables are one thing. Pacemakers, insulin pumps, that's another. They both use the body area networks. Not a word, more mouse brains. This leaves not only the American people, but anybody else who's trying to understand where the warfare doctrine stands today, completely in the dark, confused, and to their own auspices, because if they try to communicate with family members who might have a student in college, who might have someone in the drone units that we have throughout our nation, they are going to be arguing it's not possible, it's not here, it's only in mice. Now, this Directive 3009 has been around since 2012. You don't understand counterintelligence. Other people that I ain't got nothing to do with have put up a linear map of all the money involved. They're all connected with the same groups, the same people from SGT, X22, InfoWars. They all work together. Vigilant Fox, that's the other one. There is absolutely no reason to continue barking at them to try to get them to talk about something real. Well, whoever it is that is advising them, they do not want it known that these systems are commercial, available, or part of drone warfare. And I don't want to hear theories, and I don't want to hear conjecture, nor do I want to put it out there. I don't know. To say that that is not an international symposium, to say that only mice are using optogenetics. We have photonic networks, we have artificial neural networks, to assert that AI and machine learning are tiddlywinks. It's not real, it's not really here, and that it's all a Kurzweil fantasy. To assert but that Professor Achildes in 2011 is off his rocker having a transhuman fantasy. Fraud.
That was giving me that real underground vibes right there. I gotta get that book. Shout out to Sabrina Wallace. The fact that this stuff is already out there, I can only imagine what type of world it would be in 2030. Automated medical care? That's crazy. Sound like the Jetsons or something. And them drones sound like something from the Terminator. It's crazy how nobody gives this lady credit. She has the resume, as she said. Now that I look at it, some of the people that she mentioned crying for these files, being hysterical with it, always talking about we going to war, the real fear mongering. Wow, this is going right under our nose. Like, wow. I can understand why they would want to make her seem like she's crazy, that she's spilling all the beans. I dig what she's saying. I feel what she's saying is credible. I want her on my team any day.
Take that shit to the job, motherfucker!
Oh my god.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this content, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.